Hey guys, what is up? Here to leave you another movie review, this time for a movie that is getting a bigger release. It doesn't have a wide release yet, but it will be, who knows, it'll probably expand soon. And I hope it does because this movie is Spotlight, directed by Tom McCarthy, not my dad. Written by him and Josh Singer, and starring Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo, Rachel McAdams, Liev Schreiber, John Slattery, Brian Dartrey James, Stanley Tucci. More other people that make up such a huge cast. And the movie is about this Boston Globe team. It's a team of the Boston Globe team, Spotlight team, investigating some accusations of abuse against the Catholic Church, like some priests in the Catholic Church abusing people, abusing kids, molesting them, anything like that. And going through it, while investigating this case, they realized that there's a lot more to it than just like this one, more than just this allegation of abuse, and it goes back decades, and there's a lot behind it that really reveals a bit that became a huge thing. Won them a Nobel Prize, won a Pulitzer Prize, I believe. I mean, like a Nobel Prize, something like that. No, maybe it's a Pulitzer Prize, I think, and basically showcases you that not everyone is perfect. Even people who are on the positive side of life or something like that. Now, I was actually pretty excited for this movie because here's the thing. The reviews sold me. Now, I know it's kind of weird you're excited because the reviews are great, but I've been waiting for a standout film like for over a month, and yeah, I was excited. I saw it, and I loved it. This is a standout film. I'm so happy I saw it because this is truly a great film. What makes it great? Okay, let's see. The script was on the blacklist in 2013, so that tells you. That tells you enough that, oh yeah, it's well-regarded Hollywood screenplays that haven't been produced into films yet. Thank God for this. And thank God that one of the writers was a director as well. Now, I know Tom McCarthy's also made films such as, I know people hate The Cobbler, we're not going to go with that, Station Agent, The Visitor, Win-Win. I know he wrote the story for Up, he was nominated for an Oscar for that, that's because he wrote the story, nothing else. Yeah, so he's a guy that's not extremely big, but this is one hell of an achievement. This is my introduction to him. Yeah, I wish I saw Station Agent, I will soon. This movie is great. It's a strong exploration of the evils of humanity and evils of people that you would never expect to be evil, such as the Catholic Church. Interesting thing, this thing was a big thing when it came out, when the story was published in 2002, and my mom actually found it hard to go back to church after this. She didn't go to church anymore after that because of this, because she realized that these people were not trustworthy. She realized that, oh my God, there are so many examples. There are so many people who had done this for years. Many of them. Sure, it's a small percentage of who knows how many, but that says something. If it's a percent, if a ton of priests, people that are supposed to be supposed to help guide people in a more positive direction, do stuff like this, do something that's disgusting, evil, inhumane. It's unbelievably disturbing and disgusting. This movie never sugarcoats anything. It's all out of the details, and of course how it portrays them. It goes deep. It allows you to hear all the details of this case. Sure, you don't want to hear all the time, but at least you get to. But it's actually interesting. Sure, it's not exactly the most appropriate stuff you want to hear, but this thing's rated R for a reason. So what do you expect? And it makes for something interesting, but also you realize how bad these abuse cases are. Like, oh, like he molested them or he abused them. No, it gives you all the details, and it doesn't let up on that. There's something that just shocked the hell out of me, and it handles it so well. But also it deals with a lot of conflicts surrounding the publishing of this case, such as the Catholic Church themselves, getting the files, getting the information that they need, the judicial side of it, like some of the people that they deal with, like trying to get these documents to the public in order to take their hands on them and get the story out to people. It's just really a well-handled thing. It has a lot of dilemmas. It never feels cluttered or feel unfocused or just messy. It's very well constructed as well. So that's one thing that really helped me. This thing has a good sense of directing. So Tom McCarthy really handles a lot of good things here. He handles a lot of conflicts, and he does it so well. He never has all this Hollywood drama like some of the characters or anything like that. He deals with the one focus, trying to get the story out and having to deal with everything else. He doesn't really deal with any sort of character drama or anything like that. You just see, well, not exactly character drama, but you deal with the but it really doesn't focus on anything else, like any of these characters' personal conflicts. It focuses mainly on the case, but still, it gives you a lot of well-developed characters. The cast, outstanding. This is, now since of course I don't watch a lot of the movie, Mark Ruffalo, probably the best performance seen from him. Now, these guys did a lot of preparation for the roles. Like, Mark Ruffalo has this unique speech pattern that the guy he's playing, I guess, had if he studied for his role very well. And actually during every break, according to IMDb trivia, he would make sure that the actual guy who was playing would read his lines. I think it's supposed to help nail the speech pattern to get it right. And he did a great job for it. It was kind of odd, but it didn't take away from his performance. And he had moments. I'll tell you, these actors had some great moments. All these actors, like most of them, had some good moments in their, especially with all these dialogue scenes. It's mainly dialogue. It's a slow-moving movie, but it managed to hold out a solid pace, and it never got boring. It never did. I did not want to leave that seat, and that really means something if you don't want to leave your seat watching a slow-moving movie. That really means something. I mean, wow. Like, John Slattery has, all these actors have a lot of great moments. Seriously, Liev Schreiber, I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, and he is great here. Like, one of my favorite performances from him. Rachel McAdams, I've seen her in some, I haven't seen her in a lot of things. If I was really, to be honest, I don't watch a lot of movies. I've seen her, yes, in Mean Girls and Wedding Crashers. That's it. In drama, she's great at it. These people never overact. They're very subtle and nuanced in their performances, and they just are fantastic. And actually, like Michael Keaton, great. Actually, the guy he played, Walter Robinson, said it was looking into a mirror. Same for Mark Ruffalo, for Mike Resendez, I think that's how you pronounce it, comment below. Great. These people are just so great at what they do. They just nail the characters from what I've been hearing. Basically, you hear that the actual people are saying it's just perfect. I'm looking into a mirror. It's great. Stanley Tucci, perfect. These guys are all subtle and nuanced, and they are so well-developed characters, and just what they do. Tucci plays a guy who, when it comes to these characters, they're characters that you're engaged in. They're not exactly, would you say, likable people. Not saying they're not unlikable either. They're just people that carry the story along. They carry it along very well. Wow. And also, when you have the team together, Ruffalo, Keaton, McAdams, and I think Darcy James, comment below on that, 'cause I don't think I'm pronouncing his name right. You buy them as a team. You really see them as a team. Like, they have such good stuff, and all the information that they are given, and they're trying all the information that they're getting from these people, like the victims of the abuse. Some people are bringing information, and all this stuff's going along, like such as the conflicts with this stuff and the history surrounding this. It's interesting, but also it is a bit unsettling. I'll tell you one thing: this is really, it's just you get a lot of information. It's very interesting, and also, I think it's very lurid. It doesn't hold up on the details. It gives you as many details as possible, which I think is a smart move, because it really makes you understand the severity of the case and really understand these people, like who they are, like it's like these sexual deviants or something like that. These people who are abusing their power and going against their roles as priests. It's just disgusting. It makes you really understand that these people, and the more stuff that comes along with all these details as the case unravels and you learn more about it, you realize that, man, you can't trust anybody. And it almost makes you hate so many things. It makes you almost like, what do I say, like hate humanity or hate the Catholic Church? No, but you hate some of the actions some of these people do involving like all these serious problems, all these serious stuff, illegal actions. When you hear about some of this stuff handled by certain people and certain groups, you just really start becoming disgusted and you start developing this hate toward them. Now, would it affect you in the long run? Depends on how you react to it. Would it affect you on how you perceive the Catholic Church to be? Would it prevent you going to church or anything like that? If you go to church and if you're part of the Catholic, if you're part of Catholicism or anything like that, who knows? I hope it doesn't, because I think they're probably more aware at this point. Now, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are sick that are out in this world that are sick. They basically are they're the image of evil. They have this evil side to them that just leaves me disgusted in every sense of the word. Seriously, it just made me, and when I hear some of these aspects, I'm thinking, why? Like how this case is handled, or why it's been going on for so long, and how many people there are. I'm thinking, oh my god, what the hell? It just makes me feel disgusted, and it does a great job with it. Holy shit. all these details, all the conflicts surrounding it are handled so well. It doesn't feel cluttered or anything like that. The cast is great. The directing is good. The script, the writing is good. I mean, there's nothing really, and you know, it's great. Now, is there anything bad I can say about it? Not really, actually. It's handled very, very well. I mean, I think it's real. It's one of my favorite films of the year for a reason. I mean, I said it's a standout film, and that means something. I really had no problems with it. There were 3 times and 3 scenes where the audio quality was a bit odd. I could still hear what the actors were saying, but it just felt like something you hear like on an AM or like FM radio sometimes, like the broadcasting, like the audio quality, not very good. No, don't get me wrong, it's much better than that, but it's a bit like has a bit of like a interference or something like that. And yeah, that happened 3 times, and that did kind of get on my nerves a little bit. But you know what? That only happened 3 times. And you know, they talk. Who knows how many scenes there are, how many shots they've been doing with that, how they're talking with it. So yeah, just 3 scenes. That's it. It's only happened 3 times. If it happened constantly, then that would have been a big problem. But that's it. It does kind of bother me, but you know what? Whatever. You deal with it. You get past it. I really had no other problems with it. I thought it was a well-paced movie. I like the twists and turns that happen with the case and the investigation. It's interesting. I mean, it's detailed. It doesn't let up on the details. Sometimes it just really makes you disgusted at humanity or the Catholic Church or anything like that. Not saying like I'm going against the Catholic Church, but it's just like this case just makes you feel disgusted makes you wonder what the hell is it. It's kind of really just a very strong examination of the evils of humanity, and it really just makes you wonder, is there anyone you can trust, even the people who are claiming to be for a good cause or something like that? I mean, if you see it for yourself, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it makes you really wonder some things about humanity and sometimes these causes, and if they're going there, and you think they're really aiming for this positive direction, that they're aiming for that, rather than just, you know, doing that as a lie or just going against that promise, that pledge, or anything like that. There's a lot of things to talk about. I mean, it's a lot of things. It deals with a lot of things. Like, it deals mostly with the examination of the evils of humanity, and you realize that it just leaves you disgusted. It leaves you a bit disgusted, but I'll tell you one thing. The final result, you may know what happens already, but the result is satisfying. And you realize that this took a lot of action. This became a big thing when it was published in 2002. Yes, there is a scene where, of course, they do talk about 9/11. I'm not trying to tread that lightly. They tread that the tragedy plays a part in the story for a bit, and it doesn't feel like a distraction. Like, they overemphasize on that. It's present there, it affects the case in a way, it affects the investigation. You could say it's being too historically accurate, but to be honest, I think it's almost impossible. But to be honest, I think it's impossible. Like, when you're writing this movie, when it first starts off in July 2001, you're gonna hit that at some point. So yeah, it does play a part in the story, and I think you'll understand when you watch it. But in all honesty, that's not a problem for me. If it plays a part in the story, it plays a part in the story, it does it well, it's not overemphasized, doesn't take a huge part of the runtime, doesn't distract from it. It's just it's a part in the story, but it's not overemphasized. Because it'll take away from the main focus of the story. It stays focused on the entire story. It tells a good story, it tells something important, it makes you realize some things, it makes you realize that you have to be careful of who. It makes you realize that not everyone you can trust, and everyone is trustworthy. Some people have this dark side to them, and they have these issues. They have issues like this. Some people commit acts like this, even ones that you think you would least expect them to commit. It's honest. It's unflinching. It does with a lot of honesty, and I'm really happy. And I'm happy that this film did it right. It did justice. It did the story. It told the story with honesty and did it respectfully. Even the Catholic Church responded positively to this film, saying it was honest and compelling. I can honestly agree with that too. It's honest. It's a compelling examining. It has a lot of compelling detail. Has a lot of the more compelling details of the case. It does such a great job examining them, and of course examining the evils of humanity, and of course everything. A lot of things. The conflicts with investigating this case and trying to get it out to the public, and of course a lot of other things. You'll understand when you see the movie. I highly recommend you watch it. I'm getting it out as quick as possible because I had enough time. I've thought about it long enough, and I want you guys to see it. If you are looking for something that's really that tells an important story, and I think could be something that is different, you don't want to see something else. You want to see something a bit more, like you say, like I don't know how I would stress it. Education, I think, is a bit, because I mean, I don't know if you really want to learn about stuff like this, but if you want to see something different, like more fact, like a fact-based drama, then I recommend you check this out. I think it's worth your time. It's one of my favorite films of the year. I absolutely loved it. It's a fantastic film. Great cast, great directing. Handles some conflicts and a lot of things very well. It's never cluttered, never unfocused. It stays focused, and it's undeniably a standout film. Spotlight gets a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved it. It has a great cast. It's a great introduction to Tom McCarthy, and this is one of the best ensemble casts of the year. I really hope for a lot of good Oscar consideration once Oscar season starts. I really hope it'll be considered for Best Picture, Screenplay, Adapted Screenplay, I think, Director, maybe Cast. I mean, Keaton is great. I mean, everyone is great. I mean, you guys can't deny that. I mean, maybe Cast, maybe like Actor, Supporting Actor, maybe Actress. I don't know. Maybe I'm overstressing with Actress. I mean, I love Rachel McAdams in the movie, don't get me wrong. Keaton is great. They all have their moments. They have these small moments in their dialogue scenes that are great, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone get nominated for acting accolades. That'd be great to hear. But the Screen Actors Guild would probably nominate them for Best Ensemble, because I think that would be a great thing. I really hope that, like for a drama, because this is a great ensemble cast. Anyway, guys, my review for Spotlight Complo. What did you think about it? What's your favorite Tom McCarthy film? This is my introduction to him, so I don't have a favorite this time. It will be this, but I'm not gonna say a favorite until I see more of his films. And do you know anything about this case? How did you react to it when you were around when it was published? If you were around to it, well, how did you react to it when it was published? Comment below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos.